I interviewed a residency program director, and the things that I asked him were questions that I feel will bring out the thought process of a residency program director. And why did I do this? Because I want you guys to understand the way program directors think. I want you to understand how they look at applicants, how they look at residents. Now, when you have that view, when you have that perspective, it gives you a better way to approach your interviews. It gives you a better way to approach your application, and that's the desire, right? When you understand your audience, there is a high likelihood that you're going to do better, that you're going to have less frustration in the things that you're doing. Good. So in this video, what I want us to do is to take a pen and paper, take a seat back, and start noting these things. Because if you have this perspective, it gives you an unfair advantage. I encourage you to watch this video from start to the end because it contains salient points throughout the video. Okay, you get to know the kind of people the residency programs are looking for. The content in this video are so high yield, they can literally change the game for you. In this video, I interviewed Dr. Asim Elahi. Dr. Asim Elahi is a fantastic internal medicine residency program director. He is the program director of Harlingen Medical Center, and he also is an IMG. Additionally, he has been a program director of multiple programs and has seen residency programs from various perspectives. So, without further ado, get a pen, get a paper, and let's get to it. Because what you are looking for is a very true quality of a team player. It's very true. It's very difficult to assess. How do you make this assessment from the CVs up until the day of interview? How do you know?
Not easy to know, but your personal statement will have some red or green flags saying that if you are only talking about yourself or you're talking about the team. And during some behavior questions, I can ask certain scenarios where I can see or get a hint if you are a team player or not. There's lots of scenario. I usually give scenario-based question that, for example, your colleague did this and you're on the floor, what you're gonna do? So surprisingly, people even still can't at that moment where they have to be the nicest, still sometimes show the true color.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. That's really good to know. I guess so. Behavioral questions are the ones that bring your true personality out there. That's really good to know. And so, just leading up to that, can you share a story about an applicant that deeply impressed you during the interview trail?
I remember one time somebody was, I think from, I don't remember, Bangladesh or was India, I don't remember, but their story about how they worked through hardship, it just matched my story. Different specialties, worked hard, didn't give up, didn't say, hey doc, I've been trying, this is my 20th time I'm trying, please take me. No, the guy had some issues in the past, came back again with another thing. So his story was, didn't get matched, did MRCP, next time didn't get matched, did MRCP part 2, did some more research, and he had all those things written in order that this is what I've been doing, and my dream is to be internal medicine doctor and do fellowship in cardiology. And he is a cardiologist now.
Wow, it's really amazing. So I guess just being authentic, being yourself, that plays a lot. Wow.
I think these emotions are about things about, hey, I don't have the money. They do touch your heart, but when you're professionally selecting people, you need to see the effort. I have seen people trying to use that emotional part, which definitely touches me. I feel bad about people being struggling, their family situation. I'll give you an example. Somebody contacted me asking me for advice on their CV. I said, do step 3. They said, doc, I don't have the money to do step 3 because I'm applying this year. After 1 month, the same guy again asked me, hey, can you tell me what I should do? I said, I already gave you my advice. And again, the repeat thing was, I don't have the money, I have to apply for 150 places. These things make me feel uneasy, but when I'm making a professional decision, it's not going to change my decision. That's what professionals do. You don't want to base your judgment on some kind of, I'm not saying story, this is like true situation, but try to avoid these things when you are talking to somebody about, because it shows that you tried, but it's not in your hand, but you could not try more. You have to come up with a solution. That, I got your point, I'm going to take some loan, I'm going to do this exam and then talk to you. That should be the approach, not I can't do it. That shows that one day I'm going to tell you on the floor that, hey, can you call me for this potassium at 9 p.m? They're going to say, sorry doc, I'm off at 6 p.m. I won't be able to see that.
That's a very great analogy. Yeah. I don't know if applicants actually know that these things that they do truly translate into the way they work. Because like my own personal experience was, I was a chief resident, and when I realized is that there was a very fine line between residents who were very hardworking and took their wellness serious, but residents who were also dodging work and then taking advantage of wellness.
I know what you're saying. My era, wellness was not something which was emphasized on. Again, I'm a program director. I talk about wellness. I take them out to play cricket. I do whatever they can do. If they are not ready, I'll tell them to go home. And nobody has ever mentioned that because the work is load is not that much. But in my time, as I said, I work really hard. On my night float, it will start at 7 p.m., but I was there at 3 because I was too worried about my patients, which I admitted last night. I wanted to go and check on them. And everybody saw that. That's how I gained all the respect from the 3 years of residents who were there and my attendings. Only hard work. There's a thin line between wellness and you being lazy.
Exactly. And I think the recent movement towards work-life balance has really made it very difficult to differentiate and talk about, oh, this is wellness and this is laziness. But that is something for another day. I guess just following up on other topics of discussion, you talked about an applicant who impressed you, and you talked about a story about that boy, that man who talked about his story and what he had to overcome. Let's look at the opposite. Have you seen an applicant that just fumbled their chances?
Oh, there are too many. If they start talking about me, I did this, I did that. If at that time, I just keep on thinking, I hope he starts talking we or how, as a group. Or narcissistic personalities you can easily find. It's not easy to hide that. There are too many. People are unprepared. They ask you questions about things which are already there. I have seen people who have medical issues, people who have speech difficulties, who have some other difficulties, who are older. All of them did fine. As long as they are hardworking, they will do fine. But the other category where there's a mission to just go through the 3 years, I just don't want to be I want to be a cardiologist and that's about it. I don't want to care about internal medicine. Just go through those 3 years, trick everybody else. People who are going into primary care, look down on them that, you know what, I'm going to be a cardiologist and I don't need to learn anything from every attending, even if they're old school. You have something to learn from them. That's why it's very difficult, but this is very crucial to filter those people out in the interview because these kind of personalities can survive in university program because those are cutthroat programs. But in community programs, we are all about our community and training and trying to recruit people for the area, not create like geniuses who's gonna change the face of the medicine.
I think that completely, you just sealed everything because there's no use of a very brilliant person if you can't work with a team. So I guess that is what it is. So piggybacking into applicants that are very smart, people that are very impressive on paper, do you think many applicants overthink in their application? What's the part of the ERAS application that we give so much attention to, but it's not something that we should truly be worrying about that much?
Again, it's just my personal opinion. People may differ. I think the US clinical experience has been a priority for everybody nowadays, and they don't care where they are getting it from. Are they getting it from a primary care office or a nephrology office or inpatient or hemonc? Or so they just highlighting that, oh, I have 7 months of US clinical experience. I have 12 months of US clinical experience. To me, I think it's overrated because I know in 7 months you didn't actually see patients and you don't take care of them. You were probably shadowing, or even if you were seeing patients, you were not involved in the decision making. You were not responsible for them. Rather than somebody who's coming from, for example, India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal or Europe or China and say, hey, I was doing fellowship in cardiology or internal medicine or neurology back home. This was a structured program, and that's how I get impressed with those people more. Unfortunately, the system has turned in this way that everybody tries to, but 9 months of US clinic experience means what? You are in the system, you know how observership works, you don't have a graded responsibility, you don't have somebody watching over you, you don't have some structured training. It's just like you don't come, they don't care. It's not even a routine. If you tell me you were a cardiology fellow in Nigeria and you woke up at 6 a.m. and you reached there and you did cath lab first and then you did this, that's so impressive.
I even had some of my mentees from India, Bangladesh. They are worried about putting their internship experience in their CV just because they think it's a red flag because it's an experience from their home country. And I'm like, that is not true. You know, yeah. I think you just hit the nail on the head, because most people get this misinformation that they should come and get USC in the US and that will solve all their problems. Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm glad that that's been settled. And of course, I was going to ask, now, for most IMGs like ourselves, we always feel like the odds are stacked against us. We are disadvantaged. We have something that is going against us. Maybe it's our year of graduation, or maybe our low scores, or maybe we came from schools that are not, prestigious. What story or what advice would you share to help us stay encouraged?
So again, I have residents for last 4 or 5 years coming from all like different kind of schools, different part of the world. They all did fine. It's just like I don't think in America any program director knows any medical school. Outside America, there are very few. Like for example, if I'm from Pakistan, I know few schools from Pakistan who used to produce very good students. And if I interview them, again, I'm going to interview them not with a biased opinion that they should be good. I just think that they should be good, but if they're not good, they're out. So very few. And if, for example, I don't know what country they are from, but if you think your country has, and you're from a medical school which is well known, mention that. That's a good thing. Actually had a conversation with somebody who said, I was told not to write the medical school name. I said, you are from the best school in Pakistan, and I know people know King Edward Medical College.
Oh yeah.
It's established in, I don't know, 1900 or something, is more than 100 years old. So why don't you mention that? But even that guy who had all the mentorship from everybody from his, school was hesitant about writing. He says, maybe most of the people do. I said, I have met so many people, and if they know anything about Pakistan medical school, they will remember two names. Either it's Aga Khan or it's King Edward.
Yeah.
Schools which are famous. So yes, it does matter if you are from a famous school. But at the end, I was from a private medical school at that time. Nobody knew that name, but obviously after me, there are like so many people already here. So if you get good scores, you have done the things right way, you have done some publications, I don't think anything can stop you.
Well, that's fantastic. That's good to know. Really good to know. I think the other question is going to be just about thinking about that you have trained and as a program director across multiple programs. You think about the residents that you've trained. What qualities do you say separate good residents from the truly great residents?
Again, I will repeat the same thing. Teamwork. There be two kids who are great, hard workers, but one person is just working hard for himself. The other guy is hardworking for the whole team. That's gonna be. I remember there was already an attending in Wyckoff. There was one resident. She got Resident of the Year for 3 years in a row, which is very rare. And she was told, I didn't see it, but I was told she would even change patients' diapers and wipe them with nurses.
Wow.
Never heard that, never seen that. I know her personally, and she got a chance too. She was out of the med school for a long time. Her, were not there, but she understood that she got this opportunity, and she's gonna avail it. And she helped everybody. She helped all the interns, and they all used to say, "Hey, write notes for them so that they can leave home early who were struggling." I think that's the separate from a good to great.
Wow, that's very profound. And then for new interns, people who just start residency, the residents that are just like 3 months in the residency, what are one habits, what are the behaviors in your new interns that you can tell off the bat that these people will be successful?
I think people who are hardworking and not trying to trick the system, as you mentioned earlier, people are nowadays tricking the system. They try to, tell you that, hey, at 6 o'clock, I'm not supposed to work. People who are hard worker, even if you don't ask, again, I'm not trying to violate the ACGME work hours. Those hours are too much. 80 hours, you can never reach that hour. If you're efficient and you're doing your work right way, you'll be done before that 80-hour limit will ever reach. But even before 80 hours, you can get overwhelmed and you can get burnt out. So you still have to, work smart. And if you're struggling, you can, help. But there are still people who think that it was their right to get into residency. And those people don't do well in life too. I said there's 5,000, 4,000 applicants. Why is it your right? Everybody has 240 plus scores. Why is it your right? So, if we tell ourselves that, we are lucky that we are in a residency program, then, we should just start working hard. These are just 3 years. You can work harder than those years, And, on my off day before I was talking to you, that's how I missed your call. I was building like a planter outside, and it's really hard job. And then I tell myself, thank God I'm a physician. If this was I enjoy it, but if this was my, only job, I'll have like leg cramps or something. I'm not made, trained for all this. So we should be thankful if we are getting an opportunity, especially IMGs. This is not your right. This was given to you because somebody liked you. Don't let them down.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that people misunderstand, return of investments. You are training for only 3 years for the next 40 years of your life. It doesn't make sense that in these 3 years you are just complaining about something that you could have complained about if you were back in Nigeria or back in Pakistan. I completely agree and I understand what you're saying. In terms of residents that have become, so when you say a resident that was in the other side of the spectrum, not impressive, very self-centered, have you witnessed any resident that transformed from being what you say not impressive and turning to impressive and learning the art of becoming a great physician, a fantastic person? Have you seen that transition?
So I think I would say, same thing I'm going to repeat. I have not seen a change in personalities, but there are so many. Even currently, I have residents who were struggling in medical knowledge and trying not knowing what to read, how to read, what to do. Those things I have seen firsthand. They changed. They became really successful physicians, subspecialists. They're teaching now. Them, I was like surprised, like, oh, really? She got into this and she's now, doing, again, a surprise, like in a nice way. But personalities, I have not seen. People who trick, they trick forever. People who dodge the system, they dodge forever. I think it's not like a middle school where you can change people or like a primary school. You've already developed your habits. So you can suppress them. If the system is so difficult to trick, you will have to work hard and you have to still go through it. But people who lie and try to trick the system don't have the conscience that, hey, I'm doing something wrong because I'm calling in sick today, somebody else has to do my job. Those people never change. And in our time, because it was before COVID, this 101, 102 fever was not considered anything. You take Tylenol and you come to work. And not that, because I or my colleagues would know, not just me, they would know that, okay, if we don't show up, who's going to work? Attending don't see the patients. Who's going to work? Somebody else has to take our job and, okay, let me go there and do it. Again, 80% of our class was like this. They will take care of their own stuff. Again, 20% is always there who would not, do their job and just dump it on other people, calling in sick and, not considering that who's going to do that job. They think, oh, because ACGME or CIR gives you like a sick day, use it. You need a PTO day, you use it. I don't want to come today because my girlfriend is here, my boyfriend is here, just call in sick. The training from before, you can't change that. And those people may be successful too. That's not the discussion we are doing. They may be successful in their life, but not in my eyes, they will be a good person and physicians.
Yeah. I guess they may be individual, they may have individual success, but just personal success, moving the team, helping the patient, that's a whole different kind of requirement. Okay. So I guess just a couple of questions, just 3 last questions. The first is, how do you see the residency application process changing in the next 5 years?
I think with this visas getting delayed, I think there will be some emphasis on getting more green card holders or citizens in. Because of the delays in getting the clearance, it may be something which may be happening. Again, you will see a lot of good scores without background knowledge. So scores will become meaningless at some point. And I think it will be taken out step 1 score, just because if you get 275 in step 1 versus if I get 230, is that a difference in care, in personality? So I think these scores gonna go away, and there will be lots of on scholarly activity and research. If you are good at it, they will be taking you more into consideration.
Wow, that's on the horizon. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Just hinging your residency future just based on a specific exam doesn't make sense, in entirety. I completely agree with that. And just pivoting quickly about that, right now, what is how big what's the importance of USMLE scores in terms of selecting applicants?
I think it gives you an interview at least.
Okay.
Then in your interview, it depends what kind of personality you're carrying, what kind of publication, scholarly activity you have done, what kind of experience you're bringing from your home country or from here. But it does exceptional. It does give you interview, because when I see 275, I want to see that person like holy. Because again, we are all biased with the scores, because when we were getting trained, scores was a big thing, and double 99, triple 99 was a thing. And they used to say, hey, he has double 99, triple 99, and like, hey, these are good. Now, 27, there are some programs who are putting cutoff of 250 and above. I don't have a cutoff, but if you fail an exam, that's a cutoff for most of the programs. I don't, I mean, I would not say like, but it's one of our red flag, because these exams are not very difficult to pass. But you may have a mishap, but then you should have an explanation. Don't try to hide it. If you fail, you should have an explanation. You should be the first one to say on the interview that I know you have noticed that I failed in step 2. My father passed away, my mother passed away, or I was not prepared, or my brother was ill, or whatever the reason was, or I did it prematurely, but then I worked hard and my next score is 230, 240, just to say you didn't just pass by a margin again. Like you failed and then you passed by one number. That means or you can still explain that, hey doc, I'm a bad test taker, but I'm improving my skills. I've joined these courses, I did this, but look at my other stuff. I have tons of experience, I have tons of research, I have done this. Those kind of things will help you. You can't hide those scores and attempts. You have to be prepared to answer, and this should be, a thoughtful answer. Should be ready to, tell them without any hesitation. Because obviously, if you failed and it was a reason, you should know. And if you don't know, that's not a problem too, because you're going to fail again in your life. Or if you failed and you didn't do well again too, this may not be the field you want to do, because how are you going to pass the ABIM or other exams? Then you have to fix that problem. Unfortunately, not everybody will be a physician in America. I wish everybody could be, but there will be some people who will not be able to get in. And people then talk about examples that, hey, I know that guy, he had 3 attempts, he's still there. That guy got lucky, he may know somebody. Do you have all those things? No. Think about something else. There's other ways to go into. I don't want to go into details, but if you have done your internal medicine from your home country, you can go fellowship in America, and you can do residency in reverse order. You don't even need the residency nowadays. ABIM has passed a pilot project where if you're a physician back home or you've done fellowship, you can go do fellowship here, and that's it. And you will be board eligible for ABIM and that subspecialty. So things are changing. So use your country's training and get into nephrology or ID or other specialty where you can get in easily. But just don't come up with the same application every year and thinking that, hey, one day I will have a contact with a PD and he will take me. It's better to do something different to get in.
Wow, that's words of wisdom. Thank you very much. And I guess you said we should mention it. So my follow-up question is: do you want us to mention it during interviews, or do you also want us to mention it in our personal statements?
Like mention your fellowship?
No, like our failures, our red flags.
Yes, because see, it's there. You can't hide it. It's better for me to know what happened. I have seen policy statements where people will write that I learned from this, I failed, and I learned this, and then I did this, and then I did wonderful. People don't write their scores that I got, like they'll say I got good grades and then I've done this, and this taught me that everybody, to me, I never failed, but I did. There was a way back in days where if you want to log in and try to, register for the same exam, if you get registered, it means you have failed. But somehow the system was old, but I tried it and I thought that I failed. And for those 2 days, I came back from sky to earth, and I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
So I was telling myself, Asim, you can fail. You are not special. You thought you were special, but now see, you're a failure. How are you going to face everybody? And I was in my room talking to my wife only, was just devastated. But after 3-4 days, I realized that was a fake, system, what I was going through. I didn't fail. I got good scores actually. But I realized that that lesson is still in my, brain, that you can't fail. You can never be sure about these things. So if you fail, put it in your personal statement, because don't try to hide it. I would know. It's right in front of me. You failed.
Wow, that's a very, very timeless advice, I would say. timeless advice. And then just like quickly about, what's the future? How do you guys assess signaling? What's the strength of signaling in terms of the residents you are recruiting? And in addition to that, does AI, do you use AI to filter residents? Do you use AI to go through the application and see who used AI, who did not use AI?
Not okay. So signaling, I'll go with signaling is very new because I think it started last year, or maybe the year before that. I think it will only get you an interview, or the PD or whoever is reviewing your application will look at your application. But if you have not fulfilled the criteria for a program, it's not a guaranteed interview. Last year, but before that, I looked at applicants who signaled gold to our program. None of those applications were good because, according to our criteria, not in a bad way, we wanted to get people within 5 years. Again, not my decision. It's like a corporate decision that, hey, we want this kind of people for a program. So, but you can still make exceptions based on what people are doing in their life. But most of the gold signals were all applicants who were old grads, had done nothing. It's just gonna create like an opportunity for somebody to look at your application. That's about it. But if you are two people who are equal and you have signaled me gold, obviously I'm gonna select you higher. The other guy is gonna still be ranked, but won't be higher than you because you signaled me gold. But don't think that gold signal is gonna change the rank order list. It's not. It's gonna only change if you have equivalent credentials versus the other guy.
Okay.
The other part of your question was what?
Was the use of AI in like screening?
I haven't started. I think we have enough staff to go through it.
Okay.
If you look at a personal statement, if it's AI generated, you will know because our IMGs, again, English was not my first language. And I know if you're writing all those words and you don't know the meaning, the structure, it's obvious you use AI. I think we should avoid it, or even if you're using it, change it after it's done in a way that it looks like your own creation, not somebody like from Oxford is writing for you. It doesn't match your profile. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's like AI, a software which can filter applications too. But we are community programs. We don't have that many applicants, and we are not that choosy. And again, AI is gonna tell me. So if I look at you, I get an idea, I make up my mind, I talk to you. I don't think AI is as advanced to get me all those red flags or green flags. It's a human expressions and human nature you're judging. I don't think it's going to be the best way for community program. People want to get like exceptional candidates for university programs. Yes, maybe AI has a role.
Fantastic. Wow, that's great. If you yourself were applying for residency today, what would you emphasize in your own application?
So yeah, if I apply now, I don't think I'm going to get in. But yes, my application will have obviously my scores. My year of graduation should be recent. Okay. Then all the research I've done, that will be my highlighted point. And then the clinical experience I have was training as a nephrology fellow back home. That gives the other person that, hey, I'm going to emphasize that in my personal statement, and I'm going to try to target those programs where nephrologists are the physicians, the program directors. I will just not blindly go there and seek, hey, can I get in? You have to plan where you going, and I will only target programs where they're taking IMGs from my part of the world. And again, my clinical experience, my research is going to be highlighted, and try to target certain programs where they will like me. Because if you start talking to me about nephrology and all that, I can convince you. If you start talking to me about neurology, I won't. I need to have there are certain spots which I'm good at. Cardiology, I love heart failure. If somebody is trying to go towards that, yes. And yeah, I mean, you can get these certifications. There's a Heart Failure Society of America certification. There's lipidology certifications. All these certifications, even if you're a foreign grad, you should have them. And again, target those programs where the program directors know what is it. Somebody who's a cardiologist and is a program director for internal medicine. Most of the cardiologists who have retired and doesn't want to do cardiology are program directors. You can target them, and if they see your Heart Failure Society of America certified, you're like your lipid certification, why not? They would love you.
Yeah, that's Wow, that's a profound strategy. Just target people who you have something in common with.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really, really great. But in terms of just, after targeting them, what would you emphasize that during the interview season? What would you emphasize during the interview that so they could give up their best self, and the other person can judge them fairly and in favor?
Talk about your how you have learned through all these years. Your trajectory is important, not your struggle. That you started at this level and now you have done heart failure certification. I'm just going to and I went to a point of care ultrasound course and I have joined ACP, and now I can perform that many ultrasound. I can do a focus exam, I can do a fast exam, and these are the certifications. So give them facts, because everybody says in the interview they are the best, they work hard, I work this. If there's some facts, which again, it's not easy to get all these certifications, it requires money, but even in your home country, if you are certified point of care ultrasound, you perform that much, and you have some publications based on that, why not? Nobody can stop you if those things are there. The problem is not everybody works that hard, because everybody says, hey, that person got in without this, that person got in without this, I'm going to just keep on trying, and one day somebody will take me, which may work, but in my dictionary, I think you have to change something to get the result if you're not getting it with your previous efforts.
Yeah, completely true. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Elahi, so much for taking the time to be with us, and thank you for honoring our invitation. Do you have any one-liners for our audience?
I think I want to add one thing, because I think you wanted to ask this question about talking about fellowships in the interview.
Yes.
And people say not to do it. This is like word of mouth that, hey, if you're going to a community program, talk about it. But I don't think it bad on you. If you're a good candidate and you say, hey, I would like to pursue cardiology from here, and you have a reason to select this program. For example, if I have great credential, I'm an American medical graduate, and I'm applying in Harlingen Medical Center, and I say, yes, I like you. And this happened with me a couple of times previously, lots of AMGs. They will say, oh, we love you, we would like to come. I know they're lying. Nobody loves me. It's not like you're coming for me. If you have a valid reason that, hey, my wife is a resident here, or my husband is working here, that's the reason I want to be in your community program, rather than I can go to Yale, I can go to Harvard, or wherever. That makes sense. Those kind of people, you can say, yes, sir, I will like to do cardiology, I know how to get in, but I'm coming to your program because of this. But if you have great credentials and you say, hey, I'm going to do HEMONC in future, I know this guy is not going to choose me, because he should rather be in a place where there's a HEMONC residency. So naturally, I'm not going to rank him. So if, for example, you're from Nigeria, I know you're not going to get anywhere else. Not anything like Nigeria is difficult. I'm just saying you're an IMG. Let's say I'm from Pakistan. I know you're not going to get anywhere else. And you're saying, yes, doc, I would love to have this opportunity to do cardiology in future. I say, yeah, it's not going to be easy for him to match everywhere. He may get lucky, but I still think he's telling me the truth. And I have currently some residents who told me they want to do cardiology, and I'm trying to help them do some research, publications, trying to connect them with mentors who can help them get into fellowship. It's still doable. So you can mention it if you have a reason. If you don't have a reason and you are too good for my program or any program, and you mention that. So for example, I'm an AMG and I don't mention cardiology, and I say, yeah, I just have family, I'm going to stay here. Why not? I'll rank you. But if I'm an AMG and I say, hey, I want to do cardiology and I'm going to choose your program, I'm not going to rank. I don't think this guy is going to come. Yeah. Even if he's not going to rank us.
Wow.
All right.
That's very eye-opening. That's very, very eye-opening.
This will help people, whatever we talked about. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much, sir.
Anytime you need any help, anything, I'm always available.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Have a
you.
Wonderful rest of your week.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Program director said, we're looking for what? He said, when I asked the question, I said, who the residents, can you tell me a time when a resident impressed you? Did he mention anything about CV? He didn't mention anything about CV or scores. He mentioned about story. Do you understand? He mentioned about, he doesn't, if you actually play back to that part of the video, he didn't recall the exact details, but he just remembered that story. So at the end of the day, these people remember how you made them feel. They remember the story. They don't remember the 260, the 270. They don't remember those stuff. What they remember is just the way you made them feel and the story of your resilience, your perseverance, and how everything turned out to be great. But that is what I want you guys to lean towards. And then he also mentioned about teamwork. It came up every single time. And lastly, he also mentioned about personality. These are subtle things. These are, I would say, emotional intelligence, stuff that you are not trained for, So it's less about your true CV and more about how people perceive you to be as a person. And in summary, people that don't match, or people that programs do not want to have in their programs, are people who are always talking about, I did this, I did that, people who are narcissistic. And so you want to make sure that you don't come up as that. Okay, so we're going to be doing more interviews and more program directors are going to be coming, program directors, program coordinators, chief residents. If you have questions, just drop them in the comment section. Let me know the questions that you have. We can ask future program directors. In the next few weeks, we're going to be doing more of this. Just drop your questions in the comment section. Let me know the questions you want to ask them. Wishing you good luck in the match. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.